Alright, well, hello everyone. This is the behind the scenes breakdown of all the songs in the new EP. Today is September 18th, long before it's going to be released. I'm not sure when it's coming out. Probably a month or so. I want it early October, but I'm just waiting on some things before I can release. But everything is done, all the masters are done. I have to make some lyric videos, promotional stuff, all that stuff, announcement and all that fun stuff. I wanted to have a video ready to go of a breakdown of everything and kind of like an explanation. Last year I did a song called Halloween Catastrophe and it was fun. I released it like October 27th, 8th or something like that. I just love Halloween and always wanted to make a Halloween song, so I did that last year. It was kind of like a hard rock kind of thing. I wanted to do it again this year, but I also wanted to kind of conceptualize it as that song was a concept of its own and it has its own little story in it. But I wanted to make like a EP. It's been three months since the last album. I've just been constantly making music and I want to release something completely different. It's not a concept EP per se. It has some themes. For example, the title, Nightmares We Have. Each song is about a different fear. Each fear is very specific. I can get into it. Each song I'll let you know kind of the idea behind it and what the deeper meanings could be. But the first song I thought of was this one, which is called HYDE, named after Jekyll and Hyde, the story, the Robert Louis Stevenson story. I had this sample, and I recorded this swing that sounded really creepy at a nearby park, and I recorded that like 2 months ago, brought it back in, made a beat out of it, and then it turned into this song, and I wrote around the beat, and with that concept in mind. The song is literally about Jekyll and Hyde, kind of from the perspective, but it can also dig deeper into regret or guilt, stuff like that. There's a lot more deeper meanings that everyone can decipher for themselves, but I feel like it's relatable and Halloweeny at the same time, so we'll get into this. It just sounded really creepy, so I kind of chopped it up, pitched up some of them, pitched down some of them, added some effects, just some EQ, just to kind of take out some of the harshities, just panned it left and right, and then compressed it a little bit, and then it got this like weird little groove. It's really weird, really in the pocket. You really can't tell that it's there. But it just gives it a little bit more vibe. It's just barely in there, and then have this like weird little thing. I think it's from the original sample that I just pitched up, and it's kind of like a weird, annoying tick. Kind of acts as a hi-hat, and then of course the kick and snare. I had this original kick, and then I didn't think that the hit hard enough, so I just layered it with this distorted kick, and then just panned it everywhere, so it just punches you in, and that happens at every couple bars. And then of course the snares. This is a really cool sample. Don't know what it is, but it kind of works as like hi-hats too. The bass is called Real Fast, which is just the stock name, but I just wanted it to be the main focus, and I just side-chained it with the kick. A really nice kind of gross progression. Kind of sounds like a drill, like a dentist drill. Some vocal sample. Just reverbed out, like, look at all that. Some compression, some delay, and more compression, cleaning, and then some more delay, reverb, distortion. Have the same thing on the other side, pitched up another octave. Just helps punch it, and that's basically the first intro. The first track of the EP, the intro kind of thing, start of that was in this project, and I just had it lead in, but I wanted there to be a separate intro. It would be cool to lead in and all of that stuff. And then this works by itself if somebody just wanted to hear a hard beat, they would just play it and they don't have to listen to that intro every time. And then we get into the first verse, have these going, just a kick. And favorite, the best choice I ever made, $15 from, I don't know who made it. I guess it's Spitfire. Spitfire had a $15 felt piano, which is just beautiful, and you can work with it so much. It has so many options, and every piano I've used in the past 8 months, I've used this one, and it's just so soft and beautiful. I just sidechained this one, gave it some warmth. Just these like beautiful chords. I had some problem with the beefiness. It got really muddy with these chords, so I had to just resort to like fifths, take out the like middle, so it gives it more mysterious sound. It's not quite major or minor, so it's just nice. And then we have this also sidechained. I love sidechain. It just works with the vibe. Pretty much everything is sidechained. I think the vocals are too. And we just have the vocals. I have this little. Can't even hear that in the song. Each one didn't work by themselves. The lower one didn't really peek through all the music as well, and then the higher one was a little bit too thin, so I just layered it, and I think it sounds good. It took me a while to get it all tight because I didn't record with each other. I didn't record to the other track. My eyes, there's another man behind the curtain, and I deserve it. And we bring back in the half beat. We bring back in the kick and the bass. Bring back in the bass. It's just punchy as crap. We'll lead into the first, or the basically second chorus. I don't know if I would call the first one a chorus. It's more of a intro. And then we have a bunch of vocal tracks leading in. And this is my favorite. Just love this vocal. It's just explosive and just fills up all the room. Just crap ton of delay and reverb and airiness. Yeah, we get to that, and then we bring in these vocals. It's just a bunch of doubles and then some like octaves, which I used a format shifter to make it sound really weird and monsterish. It's really cool. And we get to the third verse bridge kind of thing. And then here we have strings come in, some bass comes in. This is just a really nice string sample that just went along with it. Just pitch down a little bit to match the key. And we have some thunderstorm coming in. Speak through your own front teeth. It's not a game. Super far back vocal. And then we have this crazy thing right here. And there's so much going on here where everything dips down in key and then pitch and like volume and everything. And frequency, it just dips down. So what's happening here, these keys have some pitch shifters over here. And I have automated the synths, which is basically in between each note, go down. And this only goes down basically a whole note, a whole semitone, so I had two of them, so that goes a bit down more. I wish it had more of a dip, and then also the frequency cuts, it just gets swallowed, all of that, and it all fizzles out. This crazy distortion that comes in into the last with the bass too. There's a bunch of different things. hoping my computer will get through this. This has no percussion except kicks. And then we just have the bass going. We have this. The other piano. We have this weird like harp thing. Just distorted like crazy just to give it some crunch. And then this French horn, which I think is also distorted like crazy. Yup. Have this vocal just peeking out from underneath. And of course everything is just sidechained. We just have the monster vocals over underneath it. Yeah, that's basically HYDE. Let's get into Ghost. Alright. Ghost is the kind of black sheep in the EP. Everything else is kind of energetic and explosive. This one's very laid back, calm, and sad. This one's basically from the view of someone who is noticing signs of a ghost, and they're hoping that it's someone that they lost and that they're reaching from the other side. And it was a super sad premise that I thought would be perfect for a song. Yeah, and I didn't know, I just kind of struggled with where to put on the album because I didn't want it to break the energy when it kind of does, but I also didn't want it to end it off on a sad note, but I also didn't want the EP to start very sad because that kind of gives an expectation that the whole EP is going to be sad, and who's going to want to listen to an EP of just super sad songs, super sad and slow, because this is the longest. I think it's like over 4 minutes, but I worked a lot on this song, just cleaning it up. I've never done just basically a piano ballad. There's always been guitar or something in there, but this is pretty much just piano and like bass and just maybe some strings every once in a while. So I had to make it interesting composition and make it sound really nice. So it came with these chords, super simple: C, A minor, F, C, and then every once in a while like an E minor. But I just was messing around with this felt preset and just ended up with. I just loved it super low. Just have a super low note in there and then have everything underneath it. And we have this vocal come in, fades in. I hope it's you. I struggle getting a super clean sound that doesn't have a noise floor or too harsh or too faded. And I think this is probably the closest I've gotten to, or this is probably the best I've gotten. I hope it's just a bunch of different effects on it. I have bus to like some reverb and delay and then some de-esser and all the good stuff. Then we have just play. I hope it's you. Nothing special. Every once in a while I'll have this reverb. Just a track with a bunch of reverb, and I just have the ending of a sentence or a certain word just kind of start flying. Just to give it some room. When we get to this like B part, basically 2 notes at a time. Have that E or whatever it is just playing. I definitely wanted it because I'm really production oriented. I always want to fill every second with production and make it interesting, but I thought with the like the level of the writing and the theme of it, I just needed to let it do its thing and not distract. So I just let it go, and then I just had it kind of. I had the production do something when it was warranted. Just wait there. You have this really nice vocal, especially on the CP. I have a lot of formant shifted vocals, which is basically, it sounds like you're pitching it down, but it's not changing pitch. It kind of gets darker and weird and like a monster, but it stays in the same pitch. I don't know how it works. You can see it right here. I have it 3 down. Can even go lower. I felt like this was a perfect part where it's kind of a in between monster and man, and I don't know, that it kind of works with the ghost aesthetic. Just really haunting, so to speak. the bass come in until here. And we just bring back in the original chorus. So we have a real bass for here. Just super subbed out. I want it all to be super warm. I didn't want any of that weird mid-high end, so I just kind of covered that up. We have some more piano coming here. Just gave it some more depth. I know mistake. So we're only using like 10 tracks so far. And we have this really nice stepping up falsetto vocal, which I just threw a ton of reverb on, and it just worked. And we have this first real bass, this synth bass come in, which is just like rumbling. It just works with that drop. And then we have it go into the first kind of chorus. Of course, sidechain to this kick. These, I think there's some strings and some synths in there. Have this really nice siren, which I love to do. Have this droning note that kind of waves between the chords. I just love that. I'll use that a lot, and I love to hear it in music. And of course the bass. Second verse. Open cabinet. Then I bring in this like kind of weird guitar sample that I had. Reverbed and reversed and everything like that, and I have a really nice guitar here. Originally none of this was in it, and just listening to it for like 30th time, I was like, this needs to get to pick up. It was already probably a minute and a half in, and the first half was pretty slow, so I need to pick up, give you something new. Open cabinets like you used to forget, broken necklace. Yeah, and we up the octave of this piano. Oh, here it is. We just up that octave, so you can tell where you're at. How this cool chord change. And then all of this part, a bunch of strings come in. 3 of them are MIDI, the rest are samples. Unfortunately, MIDI strings, especially Logic stock MIDI strings, don't sound amazing, so I have to kind of bury them and then kind of disguise them with these actual real strings that someone graciously recorded and put online. These tremolo ones actually sound really good. I use them a lot. And I have this real bass. I have it, all of these are automated like crazy, because they will sound super fake if I don't. Of course all these are reverbed out. I have this doubled formatted sound. And so many of these were recorded on different days, weeks, different, so I had to kind of match them up. I have a bunch of pianos coming here. It's really nice. These vocals. Now that ghost vocal is doubled. Have the strings, of course. We have a bunch of stuff right here. There's a bunch of nice harmonies that come in. I have a bunch of like super far back vocals here. I just love that vocal. It's also format shifted. Just gives it such a beautiful sound. And everything just kind of fades out. Sounds come in, this vinyl and then static, and then hopefully most people will kind of see or hear it as like one of those like radios that you like try to listen to ghosts on, that you try to like switch between channels and stuff like that. That's what it sounds like to me. I thought that was perfect. It's like we're listening and waiting for something, and then that just ends up fading into that ends up fading into 29.5, which is super fun track. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. 44 tracks on this one. Alright, let's head to 29.5. Alright, this 29.5 has less tracks, 33 here. 29.5 is super inspired by Nothing But Thieves. Came out with an album earlier this year that's super futuristic. It's more synth pop, which is not what this song is sounding like, but it's very dystopian. And I love the thought of that, and with a lot of things coming out, there's this kind of fear of the future, and so I wanted to write something about that. And then I've always wanted to make a super hard rock song. It's borderline metal. It's really crunchy and punchy and munchy, and I thought these are probably the only lyrics that warrant that kind of sound, at least from in my music. Yeah, so this is the end of Ghost. And then it just cuts down to here, and it widens out, and it distorts. And it comes up here, and this is just some feedback from the guitar. And it just builds up. I remember hearing that. I was doing some takes on it, and I heard that like super high noise, and I thought it sounded cool. So I just started messing and like hitting stuff, and it started getting crunchier. I was like, okay, I gotta record this. So I just slowly started like pushing strings and moving the guitar, and this is the sound. And then we have this crowd thing, which just symbolizes that this song is being performed for a crowd. Super cool pitch bend. Super nice. We have all of these guitars. This is the first guitar. And guess what it has? Yes, sidechain. Right to the kick. This guitar. And these are all guitar presets, just with added distortion and everything. Has distortion. This is the higher guitar, I think. So everything's sidechained to this kick, which is just punchy as anything. And this kit, which has some distortion and reverb, which doesn't sound as good without it. Like, not fun. This is fun. Just matches that completely, and then we have this guitar doing this weird thing. Kind of like a siren, which all it is for this intro. And I have no idea what time signature it is in, because it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. I don't know what it is. Let me know if you know. Just felt right. I have this new guitar come in. Super dark. I have this like nice and annoying guitar over here. It just gives it some urgency. And then of course the vocal, which I was not keen on at the beginning, but I just realized like it didn't match the tone of everything else, So I think it was like this beforehand.
37 years of this word.
It just sounded cool and I loved the sound of it, but I needed it to do stuff. Was this on? I don't know.
37 years of this, what a perfect time to live. 29. 37 years of this, what a perfect time to live. 2095 begins, hope we make it to 96.
And then we have this kind of break. Super groovy right here. So what I did here was I had a problem. All the guitars and bass were all sidechained to this kick, and there were so many kicks in here that the sidechain was kind of working against the groove. So I just had to move the kicks to a new track that wasn't sidechained. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but that's why it's all weird and shuffled over here. Super nice. And we have those things come in. We have this vocal come in. You know me, I love my pitch slides and my sidechain and reverb. So yeah, and then we go into this. Just felt like there's a lot of pent-up energy in between there, and it just this kind of releases it. We just go through that. Let me go back into here.
Waking up is
I thought it felt empty, so I added this. I looked up train, like those underground trains, and like the sound of it, because like being in New York, there was like this weird sound to capture as if we're like in this old city gone to crap. So I have this in the background, but you can hear the sound of that is super cool, so I added that. You can hear it kind of through everything. The drums come back in. We have this really cool. I love this ending vocal, but the other vocal was coming in, so I had to pan it left, but it kind of makes it sound cool too.
You buried into.
It's really nice. And we get into this pre-chorus, which is I love so much. Another 4-minute shifted vocal. So it's just this super right down the middle, bassy, crunchy guitar that I had sidechained, of course, the kick, and then I just had a kick, snare kick, that the normal thing, just have it punchy and kind of marching. And with that sidechain, it's just punching in there, and you just can feel that movement. And I had this vocal on that sidechain, it shifted and everything. I have these other vocals come in. The super pitched up coming in. I wish I could hit that note, of course. It's kind of cool feel there. And we just have it just crunchy everywhere. Of the just a callback.
96.
And then of course we bring back the crowd because the song's over and they're clapping. And then we have all this sound of putting in a record in record player, which leads into our next song. leads in perfectly into the next song. Yeah, this was a super fun one. Don't know if I'll make anything like it again, but it was a fun one. Onto killer moves. Okay, this is definitely the biggest project. 53 here. I wanted a nice kind of pop, synth pop, rock pop, pop rock. Not pop rock, rock pop. That sounds better. Track on the album, just a really groovy, nice dance along. Because everything else is kind of dark thematically. Which, I mean, it's a Halloween EP, so a lot of them are gonna be. And this is pretty dark as well. It just has a nicer sound, a little bit more jolly sound. And if you listen to the lyrics about a record that if you play it, you have to dance forever, or once you stop dancing, you'll die. So yeah, that's the idea. So we have the vinyl from the original coming into here, and we just off to a start. I had started with this. I had this like progression played out, and I thought it was super groovy and fun, and I just built around that. Just super nice just to complement that. And then we have these were added recently. It felt super empty until recently, and I just added this little really nice thing. Have this like weird percussion, probably can't hear, and makes and then we have the vocals, which the vocal changes every line basically in this, because it basically changes its mood every line.
I don't know if it's true or not, but they say that.
This was super hard to sing. It's super fast, and to hit every note, it was not that fun. So this is without everything.
I don't know if it's true.
And this is with everything. I don't know what was it the symbol delay?
True or not, but they say this record's got a curse up on it. Sirens, I don't know if it's true or not, but they say this record's got a curse up on it. Sirens,
Yeah, and then we have this bass come in, which just does what that did, and of course it's sidechained. Just makes it even like that much groovier, and it's already such a groovy. We have this the synth. But if you can see all those like little black lines that go up and down like in there, that's just automation, but it's not like regular automation. It's I have a couple like wheels on my MIDI pad, and that's me messing with that. I don't know what that's completely controlling. It's not controlling the pitch, it's just kind of like the frequency range, so that's what's giving it that like way sound. That's not how it usually sounds, but that sounded really cool with it. And then this reverb down there, we just had to break it up. I have some string in there, also kind of doing the same thing. I have this weird thing literally named Halloween that just had to be in there. There's a bunch of stuff happening right here. We have this like guitar kind of going with the vocals. Let's use something else. I have these vocals. Oh, harmonies. Very fun. I'm gonna get to this pre-chorus. I had this part where I get louder, and you can hear the compression. Just got super squashed at this one point, so I just kind of faded it out, and then had this other vocal. You can still kind of hear it, but this kind of masks that. We have another one of those weird sounds. We have this other synth. That one sounds cool. Just a bunch of nice ambient synths throughout the whole song. So we have this really nice guitar, which kind of fills in that higher range and just fills it all with reverb. And of course, sidechain. It's over this chorus, which is weird because I never have the first chorus not punch in on the first. This is a delayed chorus, but it's on the first chorus. If I usually do a delayed chorus, something like this, I usually do on the second, but this kind of subverts your expectations. You do not know it's coming, which it was just perfect. I love the sound of it. And then you get the second chorus where you can actually hear the start. Yeah, so we got these first two chords, and I love that drop. I think I really like it because of that drop to the low note. It sounds so cool. Yeah, and we have this super distorted guitar here, which fills in your left ear or your left speaker, which I had a bunch of distortion and like saturation on before. That's what it sounded like. Not fun. So I had all this, just super tight. Of course, the vocals. Down, and I'm dancing upside down, and I fall back around. Yeah, the harmony, I think. Upside down. It's a super loud harmony. It's actually an octave up. That was before I recorded that next. Just gives it just makes it sound more full. And I'm dancing upside down, and I fall back around, but I just really happy of how those vocals turned out. Have this other guitar, super more dark and crunchy. It's still on the left, but towards the middle, just helping out that synth. And then have this other one on the left. High-end reverb sidechain. Let me just go up to the second octave. Around, in fact, this sound, but I'm dancing upside down, and I fall back around, but I just keep spinning around. We have this verse, which was the last thing to be recorded. Just makes it super roomy synth. We have these. Ooh, repetitive nature of this. These guitars are doing something somewhat different. This is a new guitar. We have this pipe organ. Of course, you gotta have an organ in a Halloween song. Harmonies. We have this coming back in. Some percussion stuff come in. These vocals are a little bit different. Oh my goodness. If I could ever. And we have these synths coming. Basically the same chorus. Love this stutter right here. It's one of my favorite parts. Of course we have the break and everything. There's like a little bridge. Which is same piano and everything. Just have a super soft wide vocal here. And then to gear you up for the key change, I have this vocal, which kind of just it changes the I feel like it helps in kind of reestablishing what key we're in. It's like, okay, we're on this chord, but now this chord is this chord, you know? Yeah, and then we have the key change here.
In fact, it's time.
And it was super easy for me to do a key change with all these, so I don't have to re-record it. What I did was pitch them all up by 2 for going a whole note up. And if you do too much, these will start to sound weird. Like the guitars will start to sound weird if you go up 8 or something. But 2 didn't make much of a difference. I thought it sounded perfect. Unfortunately, you can't really do that with vocals. Vocals will sound weird, so I actually had to go up 2 steps.
In fact, it's down, and I'm dancing.
That's pretty much my highest note right there. I think that's like a G. So I'm barely hitting these. Then I have this harmony.
In fact, it's down, and I'm dancing upside down. And fall back around.
Super fun. And then we lead into the post-chorus, which is below this part. We have this payoff with this like drum fill, which we had at the end of the second chorus. We kind of get disappointed, so we give it to you again. And then what comes in here is just these vocals. I don't know what this is. Is this the organ? Yep. And then we have these trumpets come in. The stab is super iconic, so of course it had to be in there, and then just legato notes. Of course we had to have that like fade out. And then we have the outro right here, which is just these synths, the drums. We have these like horn stabs whenever at the end. I think it's 2 of the same sample, and then just pitched up for like those octaves. And they have this super cool vibrato horns, which I had to slow down or speed up, I'm not sure, and then pitch it down to match the key. But it didn't really need to match the key. It just kind of sounds cool anyways, because it's not really hitting a note. But that sounded just... It needed a crash finish like that, so... And then we have the Foley. Or Foley, not Foley, record player. So yeah, that's the whole AP. This one, I don't know what's my favorite. I think Ghost is my favorite. This is probably my second favorite. I think I'll let everyone interpret their way of the more deeper theme of this song. It is about like dancing eternally to a song, which is kind of hard to, you know, connect it to real life struggle or fear. But I also kind of see it as like having to fit in, having a lack of freedom. That's how I kind of interpret it. But people can decide for themselves which fear this is. But yeah, that's the EP. I've been wanting to do more of these breakdowns. And this gave me an opportunity too. So if you want to see more of these for older songs or newer songs or whatever, let me know. Those are all the songs. That's it. Thanks for watching.